Do you find yourself day to day struggling with perfectionism, workaholism, addiction, people pleasing, and just this general sense of you and everything you do not being enough? Well, if so, you're going to want to watch today's video because I'm going to be diving into the root cause of all of those issues. Hi, I'm Violet Rainwater, and I'm the host of the Woman of Tomorrow show, where we bridge the gap between business growth and spiritual development. Hey friends, in this video, I wanted to share with you a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. And it's a topic that I actually want to make more videos about because I think that it's a really good time to spread awareness on this, especially post-COVID and as we walk into this new world and this new workplace. But today I wanted to introduce you to something called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, you might have heard of PTSD, but there's something that is called complex PTSD that works differently than PTSD. And this complex PTSD is the root cause of so much struggle in so many people's lives. And the worst part is that for many people, they do not have an awareness to the fact that they struggle with c-ptsd. So let's break this down a little bit. PTSD is when you go through trauma as an adult. And what that does is it really messes with your personality because it creates trauma. It affects your brain, your mind, your nervous system. So it really messes with your personality. When you go through trauma as a child, so if your parents had a divorce or if there was neglect or if you were an immigrant like I was, if you grew up in poverty, a child does not have the ability to really process that trauma. And so what happens is the trauma becomes part of its programming. And that is what c-ptsd is. And that actually doesn't just mess with your personality, it actually shapes your personality. The child takes on this belief that they are not good, that they're bad, that they don't belong, that they're not lovable. That's what trauma does to us. And then we carry this into our adult lives. What I'm most fascinated with is how c-ptsd shows up in the workplace today. And it's because for so many years it showed up in my life and I didn't have an awareness to it. So I wanted to share with you just some of the symptoms because although a lot of people are in the dark regarding their c-ptsd, that they might have even been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder or depression or ADD or ADHD, but research shows that all of those, the root of them is c-ptsd, and that's sort of the umbrella of all of these different disorders. And the one thing I want to add is that it's not a mental disorder like many people believe. It's actually a neurological. It's the brain. The brain actually malfunctions when we go through stress as a child. So at that time, from the age of 4 to 7, our brains are developing. We are getting wired. And so if we experience stress at that time, if we experience trauma, we get trauma and stress wired into our bodies. And so that's why when we get triggered, like when somebody that doesn't struggle with c-ptsd gets triggered in the workplace, they might be a little bummed. For someone that struggles with c-ptsd, it's a whole other, it's like a tidal wave coming down, and it's very much within the body. So it's not like just taking a few deep breaths, can help us. Is there something that can help us? Absolutely. But these are the signs. I think it's so important to start recognizing and having an awareness of some of the symptoms. So for me, one of the first things that I had an awareness to is the fact that I had this drive in me to be number one at work. Like my numbers defined me. So if I had a really good day at work and I saw our numbers were posted daily, as long as I stayed on top, I had peace. I wouldn't even call it peace, but I felt good about myself. It was like this false confidence. You would have thought I was the most confident girl in the room. And yet the next day, if I didn't sell anything and I maybe fell into second, oh my goodness. I remember one morning waking up with hives because I fell into second place at work. Like, how silly is that? But that's how much it meant to me because my worth was on the line. Some other examples are perfectionism. I wanted to make sure that everything on the outside was perfect because everything on the inside was such a mess. But I didn't have even an awareness to this. When you're a perfectionist, you don't understand what's driving that perfectionism. I thought it was a strong work ethic. It was only when I began my healing that I understood it was shame. Shame is what the root of childhood trauma is, and that shame is like this heavy poison that follows us everywhere, and it kills so many dreams and it wastes so many gifts. And that's why I think it's so important to bring light to this. So here's some other ways. Workaholism. Again, my work defined me. People pleasing. I always wanted, it wasn't just I wanted people to like me, I wanted to impress them. Like, I had this need to impress people. I don't even know where it came from. I didn't have an awareness to this. Like, this was all subconscious. So I would say yes to a lot of things, double book myself, be late all the time, piss people off, rightfully so. But, here's the best news about all of this. What I learned through my research is that it wasn't my fault. Like, the way that I operated was very textbook with someone who struggled with c-ptsd. And so if this sounds familiar to you, I simply want you to just open this door. Open this, begin today just researching. And I'm going to drop some links on some resources that were super helpful for me. I do want to share with you what has really been transformational for me in my healing. And healing is something that we make a choice. It's a journey that we choose to get on, and some days are better than others. Some days are messier and more painful than others. But as long as we decide to go on this healing journey and get some tools to help us heal, that's when the magic happens, right? So it's really this commitment to your healing coupled with tools to help you heal. And so today I want to share one of the most valuable tools for me, but I'll be sharing other things that have been helpful. So when we have trauma in childhood and it causes this brain malfunction, as how I understand it, we have to regulate. So we have to get our brain back to working normally. Think of it as a switch that turns on when we're triggered. The brain malfunctions and we can't think clearly. We're impulsive. We kind of cower. We are not connected to our strength, our confidence, not our best at all. We're more scattered, short of breath, feeling anxious. These are all signs of your brain malfunctioning. And that just is how your body reacts to any kind of stress, because it had so much stress when you were a child. So the best thing that we can do is begin a daily meditation practice. And friends, I know if you struggle with ADD, ADHD, if you're type A like I was, I know how hard it is, and I'm sure you've tried and probably failed. I tried many times and I failed. However, I made a commitment to my healing, and I downloaded an app, and I'll drop it in the comments, or down below rather, called Insight Timer, and that is a free app. This is a free resource. What I love about it is it has guided meditations. I find for my brain, if someone can guide me to a relaxing place, I can go there. Otherwise, I just, other thoughts come up and I go somewhere else, and I'll start thinking about work and what he said and what she said and what I got to do. That's normal. But if I can just focus and follow along on a journey, my body starts to relax and my mind starts to relax. And in that moment, I began sending new pathways to the brain. I begin creating new pathways to the brain. And what that does, think of it as like new fuel for the brain, fuel that allows the brain to heal from that original malfunction. And it helps you to regulate back into your body, to come back and feel safe into your body, because we have to be present if we want to be in full power, in our full power, in our full confidence, showing up, shining our light, sharing our gift. We can't do that if we're not present. And that's the greatest challenge with c-ptsd, is it does not allow us to be present. We're constantly disassociating. We're constantly somewhere else, thinking about something else. Our thoughts take us somewhere else. We're either worried about the past, or we're worried about the future, or we're angry about something. This is just a brain malfunction, friends. And that's why with meditation daily, it will be like this cleansing. All of that stuff will just start to quiet. So does that mean it won't come back up in the rest of your day? No, it will, but it'll be different because you've created a foundation of peace, a foundation that is so strong and allows you to come back to that foundation. So what I want you to walk away with today is, are there any signs that you might struggle with complex post-traumatic stress disorder? If so, start researching. Knowledge is power, friends. The more that you can research, the more you can understand, the easier it's going to be for you along this path. Commit to your healing. Make a decision right here, right now, that you are going to heal, not just for you, but so you can share the gifts that you came to share. That is how you are going to help heal our world, by healing yourself. And begin a meditation practice. Even 5 minutes in the morning with the app is all you need to start feeling changes. You'll start feeling it right away. The day that you meditate, you will feel different, but the cumulative effects, friends, there's no words to explain that. All I can tell you is that my friends that have known me for years and years, they notice that I run differently. I'm not, that nervous energy anymore. I run on peace. And you can't put a price tag on that, friends. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, friends, and share. I'm trying to grow my channel. Sharing is caring. And in this channel, I'll continue to dive in and have these real deep conversations, because that's my jam. So if this is your jam, make sure to subscribe. And you guys have a great day, and God bless.